about starting your own business or something of that sort?
Yeah, ma'am, I'm from a BCom background, so I have a little about idea. I've done bachelor's in commerce only, then I've pursued master's in social work.
Okay,
So
good, good. Yes.
I have started the recording because we are introducing ourselves, so it's nice. Yeah. Yeah, go ahead. Sneha. Yeah. You're muted. Yeah.
Okay. Hi, good morning. My name is Sneha Suryavanshi, and even I'm part of the MSW1 course. Um, I've joined this course to just explore what social entrepreneurship is exactly, and like just to get an idea about it. I've worked in the social sector for the past 3 years. I was working for a volunteering platform, and because my graduation degree was of sociology, and to like explore the field more. I just wanted to get that grassroots level understanding of how social work exactly begins at the grassroots level and how we can work towards it. So I've joined the course accordingly. So I'm looking forward to a very informative session today. Thank you for joining.
Thank you, Sneha. Thank you for sharing.
Should I go?
Yes. Please go ahead.
Yes.
So my name is Ramita Mehta. Same course. I'm part of the MSW1 class, and I've joined the course for the same reason. I eventually do want to start my own social entrepreneurship startup, but for now, I'm just taking an idea about how it works and how it goes. So yeah.
Good. Prince or Sai, anybody? Yeah.
Hello, good morning. My name is Sai Sambhaji Pawar. I'm also in MS1 class, and I have I don't know anything about social entrepreneurship. I was curious about it, so I joined this course, and yes, that's it.
Thank you, Sai.
Thank you,
Sai,
ma'am.
I love the enthusiasm. Please keep your background. I like it because you are from the village. You are right in the village. So I can just
Perfect. Yeah.
perfect background. I mean, it's so lovely to see that.
Yes, sir. I placed in Raigad district. We rural placement. Yeah, and yes.
It's close to my place. Yes, Prince, could you also please introduce
Okay.
yourself?
Good morning, ma'am. I'm in the first year of BSW. I just had interest in what is this is entrepreneurship. That's why I joined.
Oh, very good.
The young
Very
student,
young.
first year.
Yeah, very young. Bhakti, are you around?
I think it's connection. She just
No
yes.
issues, no issues.
Yes. Must have just gone off. We'll wait for her to join back, or
Yes,
she'll.
yes.
Yeah.
Sure.
Anybody else, Akshat, in the list who's joining in?
yes, sir, Kanishka will be joining soon. She
Yeah.
is traveling right now. She'll be
Okay.
joining. She's having some problems joining.
Okay.
We can wait 2-3 minutes, not an
Yes.
issue.
Yes. In the meanwhile, probably I'll also kind of give you an introduction. We have with us Professor Vandana Tripathi. Dr. Vandana Tripathi is, a very young and energetic professor from the Somaya Institute of Management, and they have an entire department of social entrepreneurship. Pardon the extra noise from the background. Okay,
No
so yeah, I live in a chawl, which is, kind of, so there's a lot of neighbors at the side. So I'll cut off the sound as soon as I complete. So basically, we are happy to have ma'am, who is, a recent PhD scholar, PhD, doctor, and she comes with a lot of enthusiasm. I have met her on a couple of occasions, and she has been interacting with our previous batches too. And she comes with a lot of a wonderful team of Dr. Radha and Dr.
Prema.
Prema, yeah, and lovely team. I wish we could also, we'll try to see if we can make a quick dash down to their institute to see one of their, their startups, like how we seen at IIT. By the way, ma'am, we visited IIT.
Yes, I
SIT.
saw, I think in one of
Yes.
the posts that you visited
Yes,
IIT
yes.
incubator.
So it was a wonderful experience. I'm sure many of them who came in would have really loved it. So actually, ma'am, pardon me, I've not done a thorough research on your CV, but next time I'll do that. I mean, if you can also
You don't
introduce
need to.
yourself. Yes, yes.
You don't need to. I
Yeah.
think whatever you have said is truly the current introduction which befits. But in terms of just letting the students know that although I'm seated in management, my origins are from the social work. So I have done my master's in social work from TISS, then worked in NGOs couple of years, I think 5 to 7 years I worked in. Then I thought that it will be organic for me to come back to academics with all this experience. And it's also that I currently run my own social enterprise, which is based for health microinsurance, which I will be talking about very shortly with all of you. But just to give you an insight, so I am currently into management field, but I'm also part of various trusts and organizations which are delivering services to the poor, both in rural and urban areas. So my own health microinsurance project runs both in Rajasthan, Dungarpur, and also in Pune, Maharashtra, and recently launched in Mumbai. So that's where my whole understanding navigation will happen here and there. I hope I will live up to your expectations. One thing I must admit that it's always my interactions with Nirmala Niketan has always been very, very enthusiastic. And I have always found the community very vibrant. I mean, I think last time when I visited, I was on campus, and then there were so many queries after the session that I actually stayed back for quite some time. So I personally feel that it's very encouraging as facilitators of session that you keep on asking questions. During this session also, I would request just throw any question which crosses your mind. Don't worry whether it's right question or wrong question. Understand that all of us have evolved over a period of time. Dr. Cletus will agree with me that when we took our first session to today, where we are, we have learned and evolved over a period of time by actually getting asked the right questions. That has helped us to kind of strengthen our knowledge base as well. So please feel free, if possible, keep writing in the chat box also. And if something is very pressing, please raise your hands or, just unmute yourself and ask a query. I prefer that you ask it there and then so that, the connecting slides are clearer to you. Otherwise, what happens usually when we do it towards the end, you are already disconnected with me somewhere in between. So don't do that. You can ask me there and then also. It's perfectly fine. Feel free to interrupt. We have approximately 2.5 hours, not an issue. And I have tried from my side to give you all kinds of practical inputs, but we can take few orally also, not an issue. Yeah.
Yeah, sure, ma'am. We'll always be in the offline classes also, we are always interacting with the resource person. So I think everyone in the class will be interacting.
Yes. This is something outstanding, notable, and Dr. Cletus, you should convey this to your management as well. Because all my 3 interactions in the past also have been very, very enthusiastic. And we have seen your students even coming to Riddle Incubator and interactions in the past with our faculty team. Everyone is equally enthusiastic. Right now, only that different people are involved in different works. That's why they may not be able to interact all the time. But I think it's good whenever we are getting chance to interact with each other.
So I think, ma'am, I'm not very sure what is whether she's coming. She may have lost network, but I think we can start, ma'am.
Oh,
We'll go
perfect.
ahead. Yeah, so ma'am will be speaking us to us. See, we have just to place the whole topic in the context, ma'am. They have completed the whole understanding of idea generation in terms of coming up with ideas, and we've had an interesting speaker from who is a serial entrepreneur, and she has enabled them to think out their ideas, and they have been thinking on their own. And now we take it to the next level by looking at what are the opportunities and how we explore those opportunities. So opportunity evaluation and also verifying it and testing, verifying those options in the field is what we would look towards you shedding light on. And of course, you would know better how to take it forward. Thank you, ma'am.
Sure.
Over to you.
Okay. Just give me a minute. So what I have done is I have, wait a second. Just what happened? PowerPoint was found. Let's see. I'm trying to share the screen. Just confirm to me if it's visible to all of you.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Okay. So as Dr. Cletus has already mentioned that you have been sensitized about how entrepreneurs really come up with ideas. And I am stepping into the stage whereby my claim is that all ideas are not worth pursuing. And how do we really take that decision that which one should we really pursue and which one we should not? Today in that session, I will give you a couple of tools that you can use to assess this particular situation. Should I or should I not? It will no more be by, breaking down those rose petals, etc. It will be a proper logical step that you will take in order to understand whether it makes sense or not for you to pursue this particular idea. So I will give you the complete understanding. I will try my level best to give you the complete understanding of role of opportunity evaluation in the entire entrepreneurship process, and also give you certain tools and methods that you can use for building your evaluation framework. So the first flow of session is largely in terms of introducing you to the concept. So about 30 to 40 minutes, we will dwell on this. We are also going to, during this process itself, look at about different tools and the examples which I feel are pertinent. During the course of our interaction, also, I will be answering to your queries, but in case we have something notable, we can discuss it towards the end of the session also. So let's begin. I think the first and a common understanding that I wanted all of us to have is that social entrepreneurship is largely aimed at bottom of the pyramid. It is also looking at the sustainable development goals. It can engage on circular economy aspect. And for typically a business person, I don't know if any one of you come from a family business background, but today modern corporates have to talk in the language of triple bottom line, which means how my business impacts not only the economic side, which is the profit, but also how it impacts the people. So community in general, some of you will be working with the CSR units of the corporation. So there also how people are getting impacted within the organization, outside the organization. And last but not the least, I think impact on planet is what everybody understands, typically through a corporate action. So triple bottom line, if you develop something around that also is social entrepreneurship. Last but not the least, our major clientele is always thinking of the poorest of the poor. And the target line for all of us together here would be a below poverty line. I would not get into the definitional aspect of it, but I just wanted to let you have a glimpse of the fact that you can verify your venture from any of these theoretical dimensions, be it from the bottom of pyramid. So I will give you a couple of examples. So all of you know Taj as a hotel brand, correct? Now, Taj as a hotel brand was always denoted with luxury, but was never denoted with something which can cater to middle and lower income people, or a small and medium enterprise companies, etc. And they launched a brand called as Tata Ginger Hotels. And the Ginger Hotels is only for people who have affordability range between 800 to 900. I'm not calling it typically a social enterprise, but I'm just trying to give you an idea that the same hotel business can be scaled down to this extent whereby people find virtue in the market. One very close example for all of us to see. So all of you know of a shampoo bottle, right? Typically, the shampoo bottle that we buy, can anyone tell me what is the cost of it? The shampoo bottles that we buy? Shampoo, conditioner, powder, anything that we buy, like a
Approximately 200 to 300 is like 1 ml, like 1 liter
perfect,
bottles. Yeah.
perfect. And most of us, in our current situation, we try to buy individually for self. Someone wants anti-dandruff, someone wants shining hair, someone wants dry hair repair, someone wants hair fall repair. So we all spend our money into it. But the bottom of the pyramid concept, when used for this 1 rupee sachet, I don't know how many of you have seen this 1 rupee sachets of shampoos, etc. That was a landmark business decision, whereby you curtail the quantity because you know that a person who's living in, let's say, a poor neighborhood like in Shivaji Nagar, Govandi, all these places, they may not be able to afford 200 rupees bottle in one go, but they want quality products. So for them, let me design the business in such a way that I can give them value. So that 1 rupee a week is the 1 rupee or 3 rupee, which is now 3 rupee shampoo pouch that I'm giving. So bottom of the pyramid again becomes a very powerful concept. I'm assuming all the other concepts are very much integral to you and to your understanding of SDGs and circular economy. Moving on, I also wanted to highlight that if achieving everything and making India totally positive on all kinds of developmental indicators, we need more than $0.6 trillion. And certainly that cannot come from the government alone. Therefore, role of private sector and especially social entrepreneur is immense in terms of creating this value for the country. I also wanted to let you know that, most of us shy from taking money. Most of us feel that, charging a fees, etc., is not a good model. But I will show you a contrarian view whereby charging is what makes urban poor feel that it is a valued service. If you give it for free, it is never a valued service. Some of you may disagree with me because I know the social worker deep down within us says that, I really don't have the affordability. But we will take a couple of examples which will prove that, if you charge, but don't overcharge, charge reasonably, people are willing to pay. They want better services, even at the bottom of the pyramid of people below poverty line. Now, here is something that I wanted to let all of you know, that social enterprises can range from different categories. That spectrum should be very clear. So you can be totally not for profit to a totally for profit, which means you are allowed to make more money, but you are going to reinvest that money in your business. That's very, very important for you. And I hope in your in introductory sessions, you would have been dealt with it adequately. If there are any queries around it, do let me know. I am willing to dwell some time on it. But just to let you know that there will be NGOs who are just totally, donor based, donor driven, and are, working for the people, which means they are giving them service. So health, they may be running a health project. They may be running an education project, which is providing education, etc., to the poor. Then there will be certain NGOs who may be charging a nominal fees just to make sure that you are coming, you are feeling responsible. So you find so that the kids' education, kids' health, All of these projects have more associations with the community. You will also find typically now businesses and especially social enterprises totally driven towards a business model. I always choose to give this example, and if anyone has heard of it before, my apologies, but this is my favorite thing. So when you say I wear a Fab India kurta, for us, the social workers, Fab India kurta is like really the iconic description of a high-end social worker. Now, Fab India in itself is a social enterprise. And because Fab India, I mean, kurta, just imagine a normal kurta starts from 1,000 rupees there. Why they are charging so much? What do they do with the extra money? Nothing goes into the pockets of the founders. It goes back to the business. They also pay a fair wage. So, how has any one of you ever tried to know that what is the actual cost of a Banarsi sari? Or what do you think? Just make a wild guess. How much would be a price being paid to a weaver? For an average retail price that we buy 8,000, 9,000 ka Banarsi sari we are buying. How much do you think a weaver is getting out of it? Make a wild guess. Anyone?
At least if we are buying it for 8 to 10,000, at least like 2,000 after cutting all the costs, because it takes hard work.
Yeah. That's what the virtuous social worker within us thinks. But the heinous business person thinks that I have to maximize the profit. And that's where the business models in the past have failed. So, a typical Banarsi weaver sari, I've been into the hub of these weavers community. I have spent good time. And the classic understanding was that a weaver was getting essentially 250 to 350 rupees for the 6 yard of sari that all of us enjoy, and especially the Banarsi sari, which gets retailed out at 8,000. So a Fab India enters the market and says, boss, the way Akshat explained, that I will give more to the weavers because weavers deserve it. And I will charge you even more because I am giving back profitably to the weaver. So all in the name of a social enterprise, they end up charging more. Yeah. But they are giving fair wages to the laborers. That's where the difference happens. So it's not that you don't have to charge anything. You charge, but you pay well to the weaver is where the difference between you as a social enterprise and them as a typical business people will happen. Yeah. Is this clear to all of you? So we can have range of our business ideas across these categories. So I can build a product which will be totally asking for premium price, but I will make sure that people who are at the back end are valued for it. I can also build a product or service which is, kind of balance between both price and in terms of approach. And I can have a middle range kind of a social enterprise, not hefty amount, but maybe per capita volume is very high. I will look into that. Or I can be funded by donor. I have this great product. Right now, no one is believing in me and no one is paying me. So I will have a donor support my idea and I will move forward to the next step. Okay. The toughest task that you will encounter throughout your social entrepreneurship journey is to balance the people side of it and the profit side of it. If you are able to attain this balance is where the winning idea lies. For me, that's the simple thing. I don't want you to compromise on money because you are a social enterprise. I also don't want you to compromise on people because you are trying to do a business. Both this sounds easy, very difficult to implement. It's very difficult to hold on to our greed over a period of time. It's like keeping the chocolate in front of a kid and saying that you are just allowed to eat a bite of it. They will continuously linger on to it. So it's a human behavior, but we can do that. So we come straight to our topic at this moment. And our topic is understanding market opportunity evaluation. It's a very important tool. Before you actually went into doing anything of with your ideas, I think it is best to take your business ideas through this step. It is rigorous, time consuming, but it is totally going to be worth it and you will realize it. It will also help you to understand how best can I seize the opportunity which my idea is promising. So I typically try to signify it with the fact that there is always a consumer problem, be it with the middle income range, be it with the high income range, be it with the people with the below poverty line also, lower income groups also, all of them will have some kind of dissatisfaction, but they can be a burden if you do not do perfect opportunity evaluation. Only select a few are worth the opportunity. And how do we do that? So how do we know that what is an opportunity? So opportunity is nothing but a favorable set of circumstances that creates a need for a new product, service, or business. You should never enter into something for which you know that there is actually no need. And there are so many business ideas which have essentially failed. And I'm not essentially saying for social entrepreneurship, but I'm saying for entrepreneurship in general. Most of the businesses fail because the founders feel that it is my idea, it is very good idea, but there is actually no buyer out there. No one feels the need for it. Can you give an example of any such product in the past that you may have noticed, which you feel that there was really never a need, and why was it even put out there? Anyone? Some products in the past that we might have used. It need not be just a social enterprise product, but it can be any other product also, which we may have used in the past and you feel there was really never a need for it. Anyone? There may be so many apps in your mobile. If you check, how many of them have you really used in the recent past? Have you used any app that you have not used in the recent past? Class, are you there?
And there are various in-app, inbuilt apps that we generally don't use, like different browsers, different apps, inbuilt apps that are generally there, and we can't install them. They
Okay.
are some of the apps we don't generally use.
Okay. Anybody else?
There's an app by the courier service DTDC. So their thing is, they already send the updates when you courier something. They already send the updates on the message. So they do have an app, and I don't feel the need for that app because you can just log into their website. There's a website, so that is one maybe we can
Okay.
consider.
Okay. So a lot of these redundant apps for which we personally don't feel that there is a significant use, but people in the past have used it, and therefore these guys went ahead and launched it. And today they are realizing that it's probably not working. Again, going back to the basics, which means sending people SMS, notifying it to people. They're aware that people stop reading notifications from apps, but message is still something that you have not really done away with. There are a couple of failed products that I have noticed is, over a period of time, different kinds of social media, TikTok was the key one, which is giving us a lot of content, so to speak. After that, so many apps came and went away because people were not able to get attuned to the kind of content that they were putting out. Everyone was giving the similar type, same dance, video, comedy, everything they were trying, like our in-house apps of Mod, Chingari, but none of them kind of made a breakthrough. You also have a couple of failed products from big companies like Google. So Google had created that Google Lens. I don't know if all of you remember that Google Glasses they had created, whereby you could see things in 3D images. I mean, who really wanted to see things in 3D images? We just watched a movie in 3D, 5D, and we are done with it. No one wants to see things all this time. But just imagine a company has really spent a lot of money just to get there. But then eventually you realize that there is not enough opportunity and you shut down that business. They don't shy away from saying it was a failure, let me close it down. Today, our consumers are also driving this kind of an equation whereby they say that, I'm not going to like everything, or I may have a liking, but for a very short period of time. So the same YouTube has understood no one will watch my video for 10 to 12 minutes. Let me do it a 2 minutes, 30 seconds shorts, YouTube shorts, which has come out. It's a better business idea. So we will again come back to our discussion and try and understand that how social enterprises are trying to really resonate. Is my screen visible? No, I don't think so. I've shared it. Just give me a moment.
As you're putting your screen on, I remembered of this Orkut app. You
Yes, Orkut.
I'm a little older generation, so I actually used Orkut for a couple of months or years, if I may say. And then, of course, then it faded off.
Yes, yes, yes. As the new product comes in, this will wither away. So I was myself a Orkut user in 2007, 8, and then gradually in 2009, I was introduced to Facebook, and that's where it ended. Now Facebook also has ended for me. I'm better on LinkedIn because I feel I don't want to really go all out there and share my this thing. But from Facebook, if you see, so many ideas have generated. Can you think of some of the ideas which were inspired by Facebook or part of Facebook?
Yeah, when people were able to connect and create a community on Facebook, and together they've started various businesses and enterprises. So
Very
Facebook
true.
became a platform for connecting and networking,
Right. And
like
that gave
LinkedIn is
rise
doing
to
right now.
LinkedIn, where people
Yeah.
said, here, I just want to connect professionally, so let me go on LinkedIn. People said that I like to share photos, let me build a separate platform called as Insta at that time, just to prepare photos. People wanted to chat with each other, and that gave rise to WhatsApp. Only problem with Facebook was it had multiple ads. It came to WhatsApp. WhatsApp was a frustration idea that I really don't want to see anything with ads. That's how your WhatsApp was born. Fine. So we'll come back to our discussions on how business opportunities, especially in social enterprises, really happen. So there are a couple of essential qualities that will happen in your business idea. And if these qualities more or less are present in your ideas, I think it is definitely worth investigating more or taking a deep dive further into it. The first is timeliness. For me, the timing of the business idea is very important. Something that you are starting afresh or new is also good. So you can be the Paytm of a social enterprise, which means you are the first one for whom the people will remember. Paytm was the one which taught us digital transaction, and you can also run a business on that line. Typically, it applies to a business idea where a lot of things will change, which means something will very soon get copied. For example, in social enterprise, a very curious case is in terms of content creation. And I really find it very awkward, but in academics, you find that people are really very shy about sharing their PPT. They really don't want to share from where they have taken all of this. Um, Trust me, content creation is the easiest one which can be, copied. So today, there is no copyright on whatever I have presented. You can actually go and exactly use it as it is. It is totally your take on it. So something which has no copyright, but I will have the maximum benefit because I am the first one presenting. The more you share, the more my copies are getting circulated. I see it from that perspective. So similar platforms or similar business ideas in content creation for edutech So you see that a tool or technique is built by Pratham, which is testing the student's knowledge. And these tools and kits, people actually sell out to other schools. Huh? The same tool and testing kits are being sold out to formal schools, whereby they are making money by just giving out those tests. कि अगर थर्ड स्टैंडर्ड के स्टूडेंट का आपको कॉम्पिटेंसी असेसमेंट करना है फॉर मैथ्स इंग्लिश हिंदी, this is the ready-made test, so teachers don't have to waste their time on creating test. So just imagine content creation easily replicable, but Pratham is the major contributor to it, and they have, of course, kind of outgrown themselves over a period of time. Now people know that they are the pioneers of this technique. But same can happen. If you don't have a copyright over anything that you are starting, you can be easily replicated by others. I think timeliness of your idea is what will make the difference. So many people in my class, typically in management, they all want homemade food because they are all living in hostels. So they all give me business ideas, ma'am. I will start an app whereby you can order, Rajasthani cuisine, Gujarati cuisine. So I tell them, fine, this year it will work for you because you are the only one. Next year, another student will come. They will copy the same idea, and maybe they are better prepared because they will come from Rajasthan, asking people in the neighborhood, all those who cook. So timeliness of your idea can be really, really very differentiating. Second is attractiveness. Of course, we are not talking of looks over here. But what we are talking of is that what difference are we going to make into people's life? Is that something which is really transformational? Is that something which attracts me? Am I really going to differentiate into people's life by adding value to what they are doing right now? So with my content, if I am helping you to build my understanding, I will continue to create, content free of cost. If with my content you are able to generate more income, I would be more than happy to help you out in that sense. If with my work, I am able to improve your health, I will do that. So a lot of yoga, fitness, nutrition, wellness brands are coming from this category. They may not have a felt need, but they are very attractive because it kind of pushes the consumers to have an affiliation towards you. So most of these health and wellness brands, trust me, they do. I don't know how much real significant difference, I'm sorry, they would have brought out into people's life. But one thing that they ensure it happens is that there is a lot of attractiveness and people are hooked to their content, and people want to subscribe to their newsletters. People want to subscribe to everything, and especially in New Year's time, you will see a huge rise into it. The last one is when I say durability, I don't mean to say that your product should be long lasting, but I am essentially referring to the fact that it should be more sustainable. Like I said, today you are doing it, tomorrow someone else will come, and then you feel, oh my God, I have lost everything. I don't want to continue. Find a niche. Go ahead, search. Maybe look at other colleges. Maybe you have, because you come from Bombay, you have better network with other colleges than a student who's coming from outside Bombay. So sustainability is something that you should think of at this moment, here and now, and not after having started the venture. See, it is also important to notify that why durability I am asking now itself and not later on. Nowadays, you can't ask for business ideas which are going to last for 100 years. That's not something which will happen. We all know that consumers are really switching their views and perspectives overnight. मतलब आज किसी को एक चैनल बहुत पसंद आ रहा है, कल दूसरा चैनल OTT में एक कंटेंट इधर पसंद आ रहा है, कल उधर पसंद आएगा. सिमिलर क्राइम ड्रामा ही होगा, बट उसका प्रेफरेंस चेंज हो जाता है. Keeping that perspective in mind, we always talk of sustainability, that you can continue the business at least for 5 years without any extra financial stress. You cannot, you should not compromise on your idea. Right now, 3 to 5 years is what we are expecting that you can run the show. Very important is that if your idea is not something which adds value to the end user, sorry, boss, don't even pursue it. Don't. I mean, I always say it towards the end because I want it to remain ingrained in your heads. that if my product is not adding any value, which means I'm just doing what Google Glasses did, which means no real value, just a fancy thing, don't even bother to do that. Yeah. We'll quickly move to the next aspect. Yeah. So here is this 7 domains framework or the Mullins framework. You don't have to ratify. There are multiple, frameworks. This is the closest to my heart also. When I say my heart, it means it gives me a framework which helps me to analyze everything in one go. So if I break down just these 7 parts, I will be able to solve most of the problems of my life. And how do I go about it? I will take you through all the 7 one by one with examples so that it is clearer to all of you. But let's just take a moment to understand the model itself first. Just give me a minute. I am trying to find the pointer. Yeah, so the pointer is visible. Please follow the pointers in order to understand. See, according to me, at the heart of every business is the founder or the team domains, as this model calls. So if the team which is involved in the idea is not having enough aspiration, is not clear about what they want to do, what they want to achieve, I feel it's not worth pursuing. The model also says ability to execute on CSF, which is critical success factors. We'll come to that. But critical success factors is that if I'm running a project on healthcare, the critical success factor would be, so let's say I'm running a project on TB control or HIV/AIDS control, any of these. So what would be a critical success factor? How will I measure whether I'm successful or not?
If people are getting helped by that person,
So
they
there
are
should be a significant change in people's health conditions. You are absolutely right. There should be less number of people falling sick is what we should expect. So ability to execute on CSF, agar ye understanding aapko hai, that is when the team is, I feel, good enough to lead the show. Again, we say connectedness up and down the value chain. So we say that to do any business activity, you need to know everything, right from sourcing to the way it is going to the market. Sourcing, let's take an example because we need to spend some time over here. So let's take let's say handicraft as a product, right? I want to start a business on handicrafts. Can you tell me the end-to-end how a handicraft business will actually be working? Do you have any idea? Maybe let's take Fab India only for our easy intake. How do you think it is working? First, you share your understanding, then I will come back to you. Anyone? How do you think they work? How did they start it? गूगल करने की कोई जरूरत नहीं, लॉजिकल सोचो. गूगल करने से तो कहानियां मिल ही जाएंगी, बट लॉजिकल सोचो, अगर मुझे कपड़े बनाने का बिजनेस करना है तो मुझे सबसे पहले क्या चाहिए होगा?
Firstly, having the raw materials in place,
Very
like
good.
funds for the raw materials, and then
Perfect.
the resources who can actually make your product. So, like the weavers,
Very
the
good.
labor for it. I think these two are essential for creating a product first. Then understanding the market and coming up with products that will cater to the clients or cater to the end user. So coming up with the idea that a kurta is comfortable for wearing in offices, then it's a formal attire too. It could be traditional as well. So coming up with those different categories of products,
Very
maybe the ideation of it, and then finding your sellers maybe in the market
yes.
area, like where can you place the products, understanding that, and uh, and then maybe marketing it well, like having your stores in place, but also using online applications to market. So Fab India may have a store in Andheri, but it does have a digital presence as well through social media handles or through different apps like Flipkart, Amazon, where you can purchase the Fab India products too. So placing it in the market at different levels and making it accessible to the customer.
Perfect.
Like a rough idea.
किसी को भी ये धंधा स्टार्ट करना है, ये सारे स्टेप्स So connectedness up and down the value chain is nothing but these steps of businesses. If I were to break it down to any other, let's say we want to do an upcycling project. Where do you think I will start from? And how will I end up? So I want to make, best out of waste kind of a thing. All recyclables have tried to make something else out of it. How do you think I will work? What will be my
First,
start?
finding places where people are actually throwing out things that we need for the upcycling project.
Very good.
So again, from the raw material, and then going about the design. What are we doing with the waste? And then again, like Sneha said, moving about with the ideation, and then how are we going to reach the target audience? So yeah, that.
Very good. Very good. So target audience reaching, selling, and then after sales activities. So you see, if you break down any business idea, you will know that there are these 4-5 steps that are very common in every business idea. So you should have a idea about where I am going to do my sourcing from. You should also have an idea what will I do with all this sourcing, and in what form do I want to present it to the end user. So I may have to set up a manufacturing unit. I may have to, contract it out to the third party. So many of the stitching of the garments, etc., are contracted to another party. Then you bring it back, you package it well. Now you know that you cannot sell it yourself. Okay, I am not still big enough that I can buy a retail store. Nowadays, e-commerce is a good platform. I can sell it on WhatsApp groups. I can sell it through Facebook groups. I will do all of that. And then maybe in the end, I will also get to know some feedback, etc. These are the common steps in all businesses. Now, what I'm trying to say is that the founders should be one very thorough with all of this, right from step 1 to step 0. And founders themselves should be involved categorically in one or the other steps. If they are not involved overall, which means मैं सिर्फ कुर्सी पे बैठ जाऊंगा और बाकी सबको बोलूंगा काम करते रहो, that you can do. But you should have a scientific understanding that if my, any day if I get up and I can do a quality check, things should be all in place. So creating those systems, those mechanisms, only you know. So I cannot just go and collect the garbage from anywhere. If I just leave it to my worker, I should notify him or her where exactly, how much should you pick, how you are going to clean it. All these systems and processes only I can handle if I know what exactly I need as the next step. Remember, your people in the teams are involved only for one or the two jobs. They don't do the entire jobs. Only you and maybe your co-founder will know the entire job end to end, right? So that's why it's very important that the founder is very clear about all these steps, creates suitable mechanisms, creates those processes. They will tell you, how you to create the SOP for any business, standard operating procedure. Once they have done, then they can sit comfortably on the chair. And every Monday, maybe they will go and check in the manufacturing unit. Wednesday, they may sit with the accounts team. Thursday, they may sit with the marketing team. That's how CEOs divide their time. That's how the founders divide their time. They don't do only manufacturing and just sit with the manufacturing team. No, they should know end to end. And this framework therefore says that the team from within has to be very much ready. Yeah. Is this part clear to all of you? Because now we are going to jump to the next part. Okay, I'm just trying to share my screen. Is it visible to all of you?
Yes.
Okay. After that, once you are sure that the team is very, very clear, rest all is the market-based understanding. And this market-based understanding can also get developed over a period of time. How all these four will work in tandem, we will take through examples. The first one that we are going to study is in terms of market attractiveness. Market means where buyers and sellers meet. Industry meets. Industry attractiveness talks about industry as a whole. It may not talk of only my business. My business plus my competitor's business plus others, all the players who are involved will be the industry part of it. Target segment is nothing but my user for my product. Who are the user? Last but not the least is the sustainable advantage. What kind of sustainable advantage can I build in my business which cannot be easily copied, which cannot be easily replicated by others, which cannot be something that anybody over the night can develop it. And it can mean different things to different people. Before I get started, I just want to take a quick survey from all of you. Which e-commerce platform do you really prefer to buy from?
Amazon.
Amazon, Flipkart.
Yeah, Amazon.
Yeah.
Okay, so why Amazon?
Amazon has that Prime subscription through which you get 1 day delivery. And it also has groceries, etc., that you can buy and it gets quickly delivered. So it has everything.
Okay. Anything else anyone else wants to
Ma'am,
add?
it's a big company, so it's a little more trustable than any other. You can you can have some trust on that company, like replacement policies and everything, refund
Eric?
policies.
It Yeah, Akshay, done. It also has small features like day before yesterday only I wanted to buy something, and there were a lot of products that I wanted to buy. So there was an option of, getting it sent together so that they are saving the packaging. So these
Okay.
small features also matter, I guess.
Okay. Let me tell you why worldwide consumers prefer Amazon. It is not just in India. The key feature, the key sustainable advantage that they have, been able to achieve all across the world is no questions asked return policy. आपको जब मन में आए, आज ही खरीदा कल ही वापस कर दो. अब तो वो कुछ प्रोडक्ट्स पे दे स्टार्टेड गिविंग 15 days. Otherwise it used to be 90 days for Amazon. You can return the product. तो लोगों ने अपने शादी के कपड़े मंगवाए, पहना और वापस रिटर्न किया. They have such huge stories also. There's a wonderful video of Jeff explaining this experience, that cutting across all over the world, he said that it was a very tough choice and my team was really, really angry and agitated with me that why am I introducing this tough policy of, returns, because that encourages customers all the time to just keep on, changing preferences. He said, but that has been the only sustainable advantage that I have built over a period of time, that my people trust me. That if they buy, they don't have to worry about, oh, what if it does, I don't like it? What if I don't like the look of it? What if I don't like the feel of it? So he said sensory customers, I was losing out if I would just give them that, no returns, or, there will be only size exchange or color exchange permitted. He said, I really freed the customer out of all of that worry. And because of that, people trust me to buy anything everywhere. I think the only thing they are not selling is probably liquor or something online. Rest everything is what they are selling. So to build a robust brand like this, he doesn't claim that he has everything online and therefore, people like him. Trust, all of this. He says all of this is an advantage which I have gained only and only when I said no questions asked return policy. So for a business to develop a sustainable advantage, it's very different. I'll come back to you with another question, because we deep dive now so that our examples will be relatively easier to kind of capture. So we are saying that, Tata companies. What is the first thing which crosses your mind if I say the brand Tata? Indian. Anything else which crosses your mind when we say brand Tata?
The cars.
The cars. So
Yeah,
the
the
steel
products,
basically is what you resonate most with. What else?
the products basically, the vehicles, the chai that we have, any product at home. So yeah.
So they are present everywhere in our lives in such a subtle way. And with them, we associate mostly long lasting, honest. I don't know. For us, I mean, the way Tata Tea has branded itself also, it feels like wahi chai mujhe voter awareness campaign kara degi, the way they have branded themselves, because they wanted to touch down on that unique sustainable advantage that they were trying to create. This sustainable advantage is to rule the consumer's mind by showing that I am the only trustworthy brand. I no doubt that they have not done it over a period of time, don't get me wrong. But all I'm trying to say is that with your business and how you communicate about your business is the way your business may develop an advantage. Sorry to say, but then, sometimes women run enterprises get a more favorable response than a male run enterprise. At times it happens. It doesn't happen always, but don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that you should have essentially a female co-founder, but all I'm trying to say is that the treatment of people towards women sometimes change. Sometimes being women is a totally negative trajectory, which means no one takes you seriously. They say was not to be engaged with. So sometimes it can be very positive, sometimes it can be very negative, but all I'm expecting you is to maintain some balance. Now, what I'm going to do is to break down all these concepts, all these 7 domains of the framework. We'll take a couple of examples. So far, is it clear? Any query, any question from anybody? Anything which you found difficult to kind of understand? No? Okay. So we move forward. So largely, my submission to all of you is to do 4 primary assessment, which means the backgrounds and talents and information base of the founders, the resources that are there with the founders. It's very important. If they don't have a single penny and they're totally dependent on someone else to fund the idea, maybe difficult trajectory. Last but not the least is your own ability to generate the revenue. How great can you sell it? I don't mind you selling anything for 1 rupee, but make sure that the cost of that product remains below 10 paisa. Then only sell it for 1 rupee. And I'll show you how people in the past have done that. So let's take the first part. So I'm going with the first market part of it, where the buyers and sellers we are trying to assess. So typically we say that, there can be different size of the markets, which means number of customers may vary. So you may not have too many customers, or you may have many customers. It can also happen that something you are purchasing over a period of time and something you are purchasing repeatedly. Let me give you an example to clarify. So we buy a house. House is also a product, but we buy a house probably once only in our lifetime. Lucky people buy 2 houses and maybe 1 commercial property also. But technically, most of the people in the world have just 1 house to live for. So you will only buy it only once in your lifetime. So which means that my value of the customer or my understanding of the customer would be equivalent to the population. Jitne log utne ghar is what I will imagine, right? But let's say if I were to build a product in the dishwasher category. So dishwashing liquid, Vim bar ya Vim liquid kaise project karega? Vim liquid says that by every 15 day you need me. Every 15 day your buy will say boss naya sabun naya liquid dijiye. So number of units purchased over a period of time will be very high. That's why it's a low priced item. 10 रुपए का साबुन मिल जाता है, can last up to 15 days. And imagine 365 days में आप calculation कर लीजिए. Multiplied by number of households which are there in the country. So it's very easy sometimes to break it down. Sometimes it can get complicated. For social entrepreneurs, it's always going to get very complicated because people don't expect much from us, but we have to change that perspective, and the responsibility lies on you people. What many people are also saying that there is a lot of sunrise sectors. Sunrise sectors are next 6 महीने में इसमें कुछ भी कर लो, ये आगे बढ़ना ही बढ़ना है. It's always going to grow for next 4-5 years. So sunrise sectors are typically right now, if you do anything in the space of artificial intelligence, chat GPT type कुछ भी बना लिया तो बहुत चलने वाला है. If you want to do anything to do with the technology space. Right now, everything. Education was delivered offline. You made a technical product out of it. People are buying it. People are willing to pay for it. People are today willing to pay for that how to prepare for an interview. उसके लिए भी लोग पे करने को तैयार है. Such is the level. Just because there is a technical software that you will come to know that how they will measure your retina and whether you are truthful or not. By the way, there is a AI based complete interview software which tells people after the assessment that how truthful were you throughout your interview process. And a lot of my students had to undergo through that software, typically in the banking industry. So unka pehla round interview is not done physically. No one is sitting. So they have to, there are automated questions which come on screen and you have to respond by looking at a particular point in the screen. और वहीं से AI आपका सब तय कर दे रहा है कि आप कितने अच्छे हैं, कितने ईमानदार हैं, कितने thoughtful हैं. सब सारी एनालिसिस आपकी निकाल के दे रहे हैं. Anything to do with green energy, I think you will have a very quick pickup and very quick growth. So here I present to you the first situation that kind of gives us a complete understanding of the markets. And one of the major contributor to all of this from the social enterprise has been working in the waste management sector. I'm just taking one of the services here, and the case is of Waste Warrior. It's an organization typically working in the Himalayan region, based out of Himachal and many other Himalayan region. They are gradually expanding to. So what they introduced was that, municipality will never come for waste collection and people are willing to pay because nobody wants the kachra next to them. They understood this about the user and they said, boss, let me introduce this door-to-door waste collection contract. Remember, all municipal bodies, because of the Supreme Court rulings, had to give out this notification of door-to-door collection of garbage, and certainly with Swachh Bharat Mission and everything, more pumping into it. So they said, okay, like a private contractor, I will also go, but I will do a better payment to the laborers. I will not cut down the cost. मैं उनसे ज़्यादा काम कम पैसे में नहीं कर पाऊंगा. So they introduced a service called as waste collection. It's a proper formal service, but all in the name of a social enterprise, Waste Warriors, private services for service collection of waste. Now, if you see waste in itself, just see market, size of the market, it is immense. It's not something that today I will have and tomorrow I don't need it. I need the kachra to be picked up from my doorstep or from my office or from my school or from my college or from the market spaces. Everywhere I need to get it picked up all over the world. It's a service which has total scale. You can go from Himalaya to anywhere in the world. You can introduce this service. Also, you are positively impacting the ecological and the environmental thing. Last but not the least, you are also impacting the people side of it, which is the dignified life for waste workers. Just imagine with just a service of door collection, door-to-door waste collection, you have ensured that you are reaching out to all kinds of customers. I mean, will rich say, no, I will not give it to you, the garbage? Will poor say, I will not give it to you, the garbage? No, everyone wants this service equally. So social enterprises really have to think of a service which has this kind of a wide spectrum of offering. And in the past, you will find a lot of people in the health sector also, and my majority of my experience is in that sector. But just to give you an insight that these service delivery models which are there, you really have to build it with a lot of caution. And we'll come to the cautions at the end of the story. But right now, what you need to empathize with is that the scope of your work is so immense that you really never need to worry about the sustainability of your venture. You will always be in demand as long as you are offering the quality service. Let's quickly take a look at the next aspect, which is understanding the market side of it. Totally the industry, how it is working, will I have a place or not? This is an important method. When I say important method, it's because this is the method which people use to understand what other factors can impact my business. So founders can say, I am very good, I know it all. They have built a very nice business, but what other things can impact my business? From here, we typically come out with different risk model associated with my business. This framework is called pestle analysis. आप लोगों ने पहले इसको कभी पढ़ा है किसी ने भी? Pestle analysis क्या होता है? Okay. So what we'll do is we'll dwell some time on it just to build an understanding. So pestle is nothing but an acronym which stands for P is for political, E is for economic, S is for social, T is for technological, L is for legal, and E is for environmental. So pestle is an acronym which can be broken down into these 6 terms. Now, what it says is that every business needs to be looked from all of these dimensions, and there are a couple of indicators which I have listed here. There are detailed, descriptions also, which I can share the link. I'm so sorry I have not copied the link here in the presentation, but I'll share it with Dr. Cletus and he can in turn give it out to all of you. Please feel free to reach out to me if I forget to do so. But typically in a political scenario, what we are trying to say that what kind of policies, taxations, regulations, they exist. For example, if you are a social enterprise and you want to build something, especially in the health sector, now it's a heavily regulated sector. You have to have lot of licenses, lot of permissions in place before you can get started. And they say that also you have to be very clear that maybe your state has a positive policy, but the center doesn't support it, which means in future there are chances of conflict. Political instability can impact your business. This is where you need to kind of foresee all of this. क्या मेरे business में next tax आने वाला है क्या? So most of us who end up, creating, let's say, community kitchen kind of a concept, whereby we say we will develop an online app and we'll employ women from lower economic section and we'll make them prepare food and we can make like a tiffin service, right? But for delivering a tiffin service, technically you should have a food and safety regulations ka license with you. You should have a clean hygienic certification. Food inspector should survey your place. So all of this you need to foresee beforehand and not after starting the venture. Mujhe to pata hi nahi tha. But it gets complicated if you have too many. For example, when I started running my health micro insurance business, trust me, I had more than 20 odd forms to fill up. It was very cumbersome. Ultimately, I had to take a legal help. That boss, please sort all the paperwork for me because I'm not going to run away with money. Remember, I'm charging a user fee for the insurance that I'm providing. So there is a lot of money involved. So government wants to be very careful. I really appreciate people who can do frauds because itne level pe aap government ko cheat karte jaye and then you are able to do it. Matlab hats off to you. Really, you are a brainy. Because at our end, we find it very difficult to evade these situations. Remember, as enterprise, you will be generating certain profits. How you are accounting for those profits? What are the rules and regulations that are applied to your business? See, if you are an enterprise, you can register yourself under different legal entities. Let's say I want to register myself as a Section 8 company. I have a different tax liability, which means I'm allowed to charge premium, but I have to invest 100% back into the business. I can also go into if I am the NGO model, which is where the donor base. So donor is giving me money. I'm just producing whatever profit is coming. I'm keeping it in my NGO, right? It's a corpus that I'm generating. Again, that will have a different tax regulation because I am registered either under the Trust Act or I am registered under the Societies Act. These are 3 different forms in which social enterprises can register themselves. But with each registration, submit taxation different. Typically, जहां पर भी manufacturing involved है, it's best to have, या जहां पर भी assets involved है, मतलब आपको hospital लगेगा, आपको बिल्डिंग बनानी है, आपको मशीन्स खरीदने होंगे, it's better to have trust act because उसमें tax regulations better. But if you really want to go for pure manufacturing, like a pure business model, like a Fab India for the next 5 years, please register yourself under Section 8 company. Handicrafts का किसी को business करना है, Section 8 में करो, because उसमें आपके पास assets ज़्यादा नहीं है. Assets के ऊपर tax ना लगे, इसके लिए हम Trust Act में register करते हैं. Okay, moving on. The next one is economic analysis. हमें पता होना चाहिए by and large महंगाई बढ़ तो नहीं रही है. अगर महंगाई बढ़ रही है मतलब लोग मेरा प्रोडक्ट नहीं खरीदना चाहेंगे. कोई भी नया प्रोडक्ट आप उस समय नहीं खरीदना चाहोगे when things are very expensive. I know of a student who entered into the fresh vegetable delivery. Okay, उसने बोला मैं hyper local delivery model introduce करूंगा. But every single day vegetable prices are fluctuating. You can't maintain your business model if you're not stabilizing at some point in time. और वो स्टेबलाइजेशन आने में टाइम लगेगा. मतलब कर्व पहले ऊपर नीचे हो रहा है, कभी प्राइस बढ़ रही, कभी घट रही है. आज की डेट में I don't want to get into the debate, but inflation is really so high that you never know which is the next product which is going to get offshoot the market space. So keeping in mind the inflation rates, keeping in mind what is the country's unemployment, economic growth rate, बैंक के rates क्या चल रहे हैं, ये सब आपको पता होना चाहिए. क्योंकि अगर आपने लेट्स से आपको अपना कंपनी का कोई अकाउंट तो खोलोगे ही खोलोगे, आपको उसमें रखना है, आपको पता है कि मुझे वहां से कितना इंटरेस्ट मिलना है. Am I allowed to put this money which I have generated as profit from my bank account which is current account to a mutual bond? मुझे पता होना चाहिए कि मैं ये कर सकता हूँ कि नहीं कर सकता हूँ. For my trust, I really had to do a legal battle to come up with the fact कि भाई इसको हम bonds में invest करेंगे क्योंकि उसमें higher gains है. मुझे बैंक में पैसा रख के मुझे कितना 6% मिल रहा है, बट मैं अगर उसको मार्केट में लगा दूं वही पैसा तो मेरे लोगों को उसके ऊपर 12% मिल रहा है, तो मैं क्यों ना लगाऊं मार्केट में पैसा. वी आर विलिंग टू बेयर द टैक्स पार्ट ऑफ इट. वो आप जब करते हैं इसका लेकिन लीगल रूट रहता है. ये आपको सिर्फ पता होना चाहिए. झोल झाल वाला रूट भी यही है, कहाँ मुझे ब्लैक व्हाइट करना है. बट my intention of giving you this pattern analysis is to tell you that this economic policies of the country can impact your business and you need to be prepared for it. Next is the social. अब मैं social में सबसे last में आती हूँ because that is something very close to our heart and we can have a longer discussion on that. But let's go to the technological part of it. कोई भी चीज आप कर रहे हो, फॉर एग्जाम्पल मैं ये डोर टू डोर वेस्ट कलेक्शन ही कर रही हूँ, अगर इसमें मैंने टेक्नोलॉजी ला दी, टेक्नोलॉजी मतलब मेरे पास एक ट्रक आ जाए, है ना, उस ट्रक की कैपेसिटी बहुत बड़ी हो, उस कैपेसिटी में ऑलरेडी आप गार्बेज डालते जाओ, वो ऑटोमेटिक सॉर्टिंग कर रहा है, ड्राई एंड उसका सारे मटेरियल्स अलग कर दे रहा है, मेटल एक साइड जा रहा है, ग्लास एक साइड जा रहा है, पेपर एक साइड जा रहा है. अगर मेरे पास ऐसी सॉर्टिंग मशीन आ जाए तो मैं ऑन द वे ही मैंने पूरी सॉर्टिंग कर दी, राइट. सो टेक्नोलॉजिकल इनोवेशंस कैन बी रियली समथिंग दैट कैन इम्पैक्ट योर बिजनेस. इट कैन ऑल्सो मेक योर बिजनेस रिडंडेंट. फॉर एग्जाम्पल नोकिया का फोन, इट वॉज वेरी स्टर्डी, इट वॉज वेरी ट्रस्टवर्दी, इट वॉज मतलब बैटरी तो 12-15 घंटों तक यू डोंट हैव टू इवन बॉदर. बट टेक्नोलॉजिकल इनोवेशन लाइक एंड्रॉइड विच इज द स्मार्टफोन टेक्नोलॉजी ने नोकिया को एकदम आउटडेटेड कर दिया. From being the best coveted brand to today nowhere is where Nokia is. Likewise goes for cameras, right? So cameras you started with like किसी के पास कैमरा होता था तो बड़े possessive, फिर डिजिटल कैमरा आया और possessive, उसके बाद आ गया मोबाइल फोन कैमरा, टोटली रिडंडेंट कैटेगरी. सो आपके बिजनेस में ऐसा होना चाहिए कि अगर टेक्नोलॉजी आए तो आप इमीडिएटली उसको अडेप्ट कर सकें. यू कैन चेंज योरसेल्फ. So if you see today, when Lenskart uses technology to measure your vision issues and what kind of glasses will suit you, पहले ये ऑनलाइन करते थे आपकी फोटो के ऊपर. बाद में इनको समझ में आया कि अगर मैंने ऑफलाइन नहीं किया तो इट विल नॉट सर्वाइव. आज की डेट में उनका ऑफलाइन बिजनेस उनको ज्यादा पैसे देता है कंपेयर टू द ऑनलाइन बिजनेस. सो टेक्नोलॉजिकल इनोवेशन इज गुड. इट कैन बी अ बूस्ट टू योर कंपनी, टू योर आइडिया. मेरा जो कंपनी का ऐप है, हम उसमें सारा कस्टमर डेटाबेस उनको पता होना चाहिए कि मेरे कितने पैसे जमा हो गए हैं, मेरी प्रीमियम कब ड्यू है, मुझे किस डॉक्टर के पास जाना चाहिए, सारा लिस्ट उनके पास एक ऐप में है। वो हमारे प्रोडक्ट को हम ऑफलाइन इंगेज करते हैं कम्युनिटी से, लेकिन वो हमें हेल्प करता है टू कीप द कस्टमर सेटिस्फाइड कि उसके पास सारी इंफॉर्मेशन एट वन गो है. So technology can boost your business model. Technology which is upcoming like AI and machine learning can be extremely transformational for all of us to sort of set new benchmarks. So हमारे उसमें हम सोच रहे हैं ब्लॉकचेन टेक्नोलॉजी को इंट्रोड्यूस करने के लिए so that people all across have wilder gains. मतलब मैं उसका impact नहीं बता सकती. We are talking to a tech company which will help us to implement the blockchain technology for our product. But just imagine your basic product of a health insurance can have a wide lasting impact. It can also adversely impact, which means आप टेक्नोलॉजी को अफोर्ड नहीं कर सकते तो आप आउटडेटेड हो जाएंगे, लोग आपके पास नहीं आएंगे. जैसे सब लोग अमेज़न के पास जाना पसंद करते हैं, स्नैपडील बीच में कहीं खत्म हो गया. The next part is your legal part. Legal is very important. Like I said, all laws, rules, regulations, you cannot break it down. For example, liquor is a heavily regulated industry. उसमें घुसना भी मुझे लगता है स्वास्थ्य के लिए हानिकारक है, कंज्यूम करना तो बाद में, because it's a very heavily regulated industry. As I said, health, safety, आपको नॉर्मल डोमेस्टिक वेस्ट कलेक्शन का लाइसेंस या उसका कॉन्ट्रैक्ट मिलने में टाइम नहीं लगता है ज्यादा, बट बायोमेडिकल वेस्ट का आप नहीं कर सकते बिकॉज आपके पास बहुत सारे लाइसेंसेस एंड टेक्निकल इक्विपमेंट्स होने चाहिए, उसके बाद ही आपको मिलेगा वो कॉन्ट्रैक्ट. So certain safety regulations also can impact us. Many a times, us as social enterprises don't realize our, environmental impact that we are creating with our products. हम भी अगर नए तरीके से वही थाली चम्मच बना रहे हैं, I mean, we are not really adding any value. We should be on the other end sensitizing how best can we use someone else's resources and make a better product out of it. So make sure you are fulfilling all the legal. It's also important because legal policies can change overnight. मैं आपको एक क्लासिक एग्जांपल देती हूँ. It is not essentially a social enterprise, but ये एग्जांपल आपको समझने में आसानी देगा कि लीगल और पॉलिटिकल मिलके कैसे आपके बिजनेस को खराब कर सकते हैं. रैपिडो बाइक्स किसी ने यूज की है अभी तक? रैपिडो राइड शेयरिंग ऐप.
यस मैम.
उसमें आप एक 2 व्हीलर बाइक भी बुक कर सकते थे, उनके पास 4 व्हीलर का ऑप्शन ही नहीं था, सब 2 व्हीलर्स. एंड लॉट ऑफ यंग पीपल एंड इन टायर 2 टायर 3 सिटीज ऑल्सो. कोलकाता में उन्होंने पहला अपना किया था पायलट, बहुत ही सक्सेसफुल, आई मीन एक्सट्रीमली सक्सेसफुल प्रोजेक्ट. लोगों को लगा कि भाई ऑटो से भी अच्छा है कि ये बाइक रहे, सस्ती भी है और फास्टर ट्रांजिट है इन मोस्ट ट्रैफिक एरियाज. Rapido expanded, मतलब Rapido को लगा wow, good. If I'm successful in Kolkata, I can be everywhere. They came to Bombay, and Bombay ka taxi association and the auto association is a very powerful body. They can change local politicians like overnight. Rapido के impact जो auto वालों के business पे आने लगे, trust me, the first thing they did was to reach out to the chief minister's office and book an objection. The moment they have put an objection, Maharashtra government came out with the guideline saying that boss, 2-wheelers do not have a commercial license, so you cannot operate here. Overnight, Rapido had to withdraw its business. So मेरे तो बहुत सारे students हैं जो उसमें अपनी bike rides offer करते थे, but now you know that overnight ये legal issue आ गया, क्योंकि ये state का subject है कि कौन सा आप transport अलाउ करते हैं, ये स्टेट सब्जेक्ट है, तो सेंटर भी नहीं इंटरवीन कर सकता, वेस्ट बंगाल गवर्नमेंट भी नहीं इंटरवीन कर सकती कि नहीं ये अच्छे बच्चे हैं, ये अच्छा काम कर रहे हैं, इनको ले लो. Nothing. The Maharashtra government didn't allow Rapido to operate anymore in the state of Maharashtra, saying that boss, we don't allow 2-wheelers as commercial. So you are out of business overnight. Yeah. So be very careful and cautious with the legal regulations. Yes, Neha, you have a query.
Yes. So now that because of this, Rapido has now introduced autos in Mumbai,
Yes,
like in
now
Maharashtra. They've come up with the auto service, and now there is this slogan that's happening. If auto 2 minutes mein book nahi hoti, then we pay you $50 back. So now they've tried using auto as an option to reach out to the consumers in Maharashtra.
उसी में एक और पन इंटेंडेड है कि आप देखेंगे तो उबर और ओला में 2 व्हीलर्स का ऑप्शन आ चुका है. But that's allowed for Ola and Uber, and poor Rapido didn't get it. So see, adaptation is what is the beautiful thing, you know, that even if I'm hit, but what I have with me right now, I have with me the consumers who need service. What is the next best service I can offer? ठीक है, ये ऑटो वाले ही नाटक कर रहे, पहले इनको ही पकड़ता हूँ, भैया आ जाओ मेरे साथ. So that's an adaptation that very truly every entrepreneur must have. एक बैकअप दिमाग में, और उनको पता है ये उनके लिए ऑर्गेनिक है, क्योंकि उन्होंने देखा है कि ओला एंड उबर में ये चलता है. सब चीज का ऑप्शन, बड़ी गाड़ी, छोटी गाड़ी, पूरे दिन की गाड़ी, कम समय के लिए गाड़ी, कई ये सारे कॉम्बिनेशंस, एक प्रूवन बिजनेस हमारे सामने है. So it's very easy to kind of adapt to it. If I was the first one, trust me, it was very difficult to adapt to it. When I first launched my health micro insurance product, they said you cannot sell it in a cooperative model, because cooperative model में नहीं allowed है कोई भी प्रोडक्ट बेचना. मैंने कहा अमूल आपका कोऑपरेटिव है, आपके शुगर केन इंडस्ट्री में इतने सारे कोऑपरेटिव्स हैं. जस्ट गिव मी अ मिनट. Sorry, that was my little one. I'm really apologizing. In that case, if you see, all of these people have different expectations from the same health insurance service provider like me. And I said, boss, there are already proven markets which are giving out products, but they said, no, but they are not charging anything upfront. You are charging premium upfront. That was a small thing which was creating the glitch. So I said, okay, then we will just become like any other micro insurance service provider. You see a lot of your self-help group companies are now falling into this. We'll come to some of them in a short while. Environmental is very easy to understand. I think anything that you do and has an environment impact, I won't dwell much time on that. I would rather prefer to use my time for the social. So social is something, what trends are currently happening, what kinds of attitude and perceptions people are holding are very transformational for businesses like ours, which is social entrepreneurship. So a key thing that you can imagine with this waste example, which I gave you, the key consumer trend is across age, across income levels, across geographical location, across religious groups, across anywhere in the world, waste will be generated. That's a key demographic trend that we all appreciate. We also know that every community has special waste management practices. कुछ लोग घर के बाहर रखते हैं, कुछ लोग सुबह ही घर के बाहर रखते हैं, कुछ लोग रात में बाहर निकाल के रख देंगे. I mean, there are different ways in which they are looking at. Some people say, मतलब जैसे ही कचरा निकला घर के अंदर तो रखना ही नहीं, घर के बाहर वाले डस्टबिन में, as if वहां से मक्खी घर के अंदर कभी नहीं अंदर आएगी. I don't know, but these are different logics that people use. You also know that consumer want a definite solution for it. No one wants garbage in front of them. No one wants flies in front of their house. Everyone wants it to be picked up daily, because वो daily volume बहुत high है India. So if these are the trends in front of me, what best can I do to develop a business around it? But at the same time, there are also certain negative trends associated. Negative क्या है? Waste worker को एकदम look down करना. कचरा वाला आया है, that's one trend. We need to change that. There was also a campaign about, how you throw your sanitary napkins. I mean, some people are just openly throwing it away. It's very difficult. How can you imagine people, really picking up your garbage if you've just thrown it outside the dustbin, if you've thrown it all open, you can't properly seal it. All of this is very ridiculous. And last but not the least, जहां dustbin लगा होगा उसके बाहर ही ज्यादा कचरा होगा, dustbin के अंदर तो कचरा नहीं. God knows why. But these are certain negative trends also which are there in our community, which we need to be careful of, and therefore we have to design our business. And most of the waste management organizations, if you see, have maneuvered this understanding and have built. They said क्या होगा कल को वो मेरे कचरे वाले को अगर रिस्पेक्टफुली नहीं देखेंगे तो मुझे क्या करना है, अगर वो मुझे कचरा देने से मना करेंगे तो मुझे क्या करना है, अगर वो ड्राई एंड वेट गार्बेज सेग्रीगेट नहीं करेंगे तो मुझे क्या करना है. All of this provision should be there. I am very happy to inform you that in Pune, it's a very recently developed township in Kolte Patil, and I happened to be visiting for a family function there. And I was surprised because the host of the party was very worried कि कचरा कहीं मिक्स ना हो जाए, बच्चों को मत कचरा फेंकने को, कि मैं खुद कलेक्ट करूंगी, मतलब चिप्स का पैकेट भी वो खुद से, she was so worked up. Then I ended up asking her that why are you so worked up with this kachra thing out of the party? Yeah, ठीक है ना, मतलब एक बैग में भर देंगे at the end. She said नहीं, in their campus they only have transparent garbage collection bags, no black bags. Transparent eco-friendly bags which are sold by the society. If they find a mixed garbage, the waste workers are empowered not to pick up the garbage from your door. And they will notify it. So they will issue, जैसे हमारे बचपन में नहीं black star and red star issue होते थे. So they issue a star against your name. So if you have been issued a black star, मतलब society में आपके ऊपर fine आ सकता है after 3. So just imagine so much of rigorous process, but एक waste collection company ने पूरा society office के साथ बैठ के brainstorm करके ये एक model बनाया कि हम करेंगे, कचरा पूरा उठाएंगे, and हम composting भी करेंगे, हम आपका garden landscaping भी maintain करेंगे, हम सब कुछ करेंगे, but sourcing garbage segregation and sourcing is what we need from the end user. उसको nudge करने में आज मुझे लगता है 3 साल हो चुके हैं वो सोसाइटी बने हुए, बट आज भी वो कहते हैं कि ओनली फियर, पनिशमेंट का फियर ही है जो कुछ लोगों को मोबिलाइज करता है, बिकॉज एवरी डे देयर इज अ न्यू रेसिडेंट हु इज वॉकिंग इनटू द नेबरहुड. रेंटर चेंज हो जाते हैं 6 महीने में, इन दीज काइंड्स ऑफ हाउसिंग सोसाइटीज. तो हर बार हर ओनर को अपने रेंटर को सेंसिटाइज करना है कि हमारे यहाँ इतनी स्ट्रिक्ट पॉलिसी, कोई इतना टाइम नहीं देता. So the company has to ensure every 3 months they are doing this orientation sessions within the premise, etc. So if you see the social, political, legal, environmental, technological, all of this are external factors which can impact your business, can boost it, can also bring it down. And it's very important, therefore, to take your business through this step. We'll take one example at length so that all of us are sort of very clear on this. Let me put it on the full screen mode so that it's easier for us to understand. So just give me a minute. और उसके बाद मैं चाहूंगी कि आप लोग थोड़ा सा इसमें time spend करें. Have I shared audio? Can you hear me? The video playing?
No, ma'am.
No, na? Just give me a minute. So there is some issue because of which I'm not able to, I'm playing a video, but it's not getting played. Let me paste the link and see if anyone else can play it. I'll just give out the link. So, Dr. Cletus, are you around? I've just posted it. Or can anyone do a Google search for miracle couriers? I think it's going only, okay. Is it visible? I've pasted something on the chat. Or I'm trying to send it to
Yes,
Akshat.
nice.
Huh? So just click on that link, and if anyone else is able to play that video, let me see if we are able to hear the sound.
Yeah.
Just confirm to me if you're able.
Sir needs to confirm attendee.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
1 second. Maybe I can make one of you as co-host. Who
Akshat,
was trying? Oh, I've
Akshat.
sent it to Akshay. Where is the participants? Yes, here. Maybe I'll make him co-host along with me, so it doesn't allow me also to make co-host.
Should I call sir?
No, wait a second. Let me try again and we'll see if that works. Then only we'll bother him. Is it coming out, the sound? Can anyone confirm to me?
Yes, ma'am. Just play. No, ma'am. The sound is not.
And in your mic setting, you'll have to change it to computer audio if you're using, I don't know if you're using earphones or anything.
What happened? It's not coming?
The audio is not coming of the video. We can hear you though. So maybe in your mic settings on that drop down, maybe you can try and change it to devices.
I changed it to device.
Like select a speaker.
Someone said to put it for enable this thing. I have written same as system. Someone said share sound is what I have to do. So I tried to do that. It's audible now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, audible?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So we start from here. I did the same thing earlier also. I don't know what happened. No issues. So this is Miracle Couriers, and I want you to quickly, all of you, since 6 of you will be there, I want you to do the pestle analysis for this business. बहुत जल्दी, सिर्फ एक करेगा. So maybe we assign to you first. Ramita, you may look into the P part of it, which is the political. Akshat, you may look into the E part of it, which is environment. Neha, you can look into the S part of it, which is social. Bhakti, Shravani, if you are there, please pick up the technological part of it. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
So we will just quickly dwell 2 minutes after I play this video so that you can understand that for an existing business also you can do a pestle analysis. And how do we do it?
Well, the idea behind Miracle Couriers was to radically change how people with disabilities are employed. We wanted to challenge the status quo. We wanted to develop a business model that is sustainable, has more impact, and actually pushes people with disabilities in the workforce. Sometimes for us it gets harder to convince clients that we are like any other logistics or any other courier company, if not better. Changing this idea that I am nobody, that I am somebody now. I can do wonders with my life. And today everything can be done if the right tools are given to the right person. So that change in confidence is something which I really, really feel happy about.
दूर रहना थोड़ा टाइम मेरा ठीक हो गया
One moment, I'm struggling with. So could all of you just see and understand from the video what the courier service really entails? Can we take 2 minutes here and quickly do the pestle analysis like the way we have divided all of you? Take a moment to build your thought on it and then share with the class.
So, ma'am, we talk about how the company has catered to the model, right? Like the political and
Yes, yes.
economic.
No political scenarios would have helped it. What kind of political support or non-support can impact a courier business?
So you're doing a pestle analysis of
Miracle
those
couriers. Yeah.
miracle.
Yes, for the miracle couriers, the people who employ the deaf
Hmm.
people. For.
I saw the end of the towards the end, but yeah,
Okay.
interesting. I mean, they also employ challenged people, no? Hmm.
Yes, yes. 90% of their employees are hearing disabled, deaf and mute. And they are having corporate clients majorly. Because
Yes.
retailers like you and I still don't know
Hmm.
much about miracle couriers. So they have done industry tie-ups. That's how they are able to survive. And it's almost a decade-old company.
Yes.
So it will also show them that if technology is developed
Yes.
and social attitudes gets changed, then a
Absolutely.
good business can emerge.
Definitely. For me, the angle which I can see coming through is very clear. Yeah, but let the students see.
Yes, yes. Let me know when all of you are ready. I gave them each one element. So P being given to someone, E being given to someone, S being given, so that we are able to analyze all of it very quickly.
Yeah, ma'am. So I can start up with the environmental factor that the miracle courier helped in. So ma'am, they were using mobile text as the conveyors for the delivers. While we can see that many the courier service we use, they have detailed instruction on paper, and then these papers are just not properly stuck to the parcel, and they just are thrown away. So it's also reducing paper wastage. So as so this
Very
was
good.
one of the factors we can get from the video.
Sure.
And we can see that deaf people are in the video, basically they are walking instead of using vehicles, and so it is also reducing pollution in the environmental
Very,
factor speaking.
very nice.
Yeah.
Anyone
From a
else?
social from a social point of view, definitely there's a aspect of social inclusion of people with disabilities. Like you mentioned, there are 90% people who are employed at the organization who are deaf. So there was a line that he used from I am nobody to I am somebody. So empowering I mean, usually people with disabilities get marginalized because the society is not very acceptable or the things around are not adequate to meet their needs as well. So that was really nice. Also, I think the video used an element of sign.
You are on mute, Sneha.
I think it's
Yeah.
am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible now.
Yeah, the video also used the element of sign language where one of those employees was speaking. Definitely, there were subtitles at the bottom, but the use of sign language for people who are maybe viewing this video and could be deaf is also a sign of inclusion that they've used through the video and tried to uh, make that environment more holistic and inclusive for people with disabilities. So that was a social aspect to it.
Good. Yes, Ramita, are you ready?
There are only a few points I could think of,
Sure.
and a little bit of Google search help. So there are, according to the search, there are a few tax incentives that the company gets when companies are hiring persons with disabilities. So
Very,
that is a political aspect that can help actually the company, and this company may or may not have, included that in the video. Other than that, it also helps create reach for the people with disability among the public. So that is, I think, interlinked with the social aspect of the pestle model. So yeah, these two.
very good. Anyone else try to look at other things?
यस मैम।
Yes, please go ahead.
अगर टेक्नोलॉजी के बारे में देखें तो उधर 85% लोग डेफ है, तो उनको सुनने में ज्यादा तकलीफ है। तो अगर उनको डिलीवरी करनी है, उनको एड्रेस पूछने की नौबत ना, इसलिए जो ऑनलाइन वो अटैक कर सकते हैं, तो उनके लिए प्रॉब्लम नहीं आ सकता टेक्नोलॉजी की वजह से। वो एड्रेस इजीली ट्रैक कर सकते हैं।
Very good. Very nice. Anybody else?
Also, the instructions are sent by text, they have said that. So it is easier for them to work.
Sorry, I think we lost you. Am I the only one who's not able to hear?
She has been put on mute, I think.
Is
Okay,
on mute.
okay, not an issue. So I think by and large, most of you have been really able to nail it to the edge, whereby you are able to see time is short. I understand. Therefore, whatever is the first impact that has been come on your mind, you have been able to articulate it. It's perfectly fine. The idea which I wanted to convey to you is that the homework that we are doing right now can be done before you actually start the business, which means to anticipate all of this before. So if I have to build my narrative, why am I starting this business? I can even have the narrative of the social inclusion bit. And I say that this is where my major impact would be. Money may or may not happen with an immediate effect. I can also build the narrative around the technological innovations that my platform is a tech-enabled platform. It will also help people to relate to the fact that you're not only mainstreaming certain marginalized people, but you are also trying to navigate through the concurrent means of technology, etc., to reach to the last mile consumer. All of these anticipations typically have to be done beforehand, is what I'm trying to say. We are doing it as a postpartum right now so that you have a single idea of which all of us are working. Otherwise, typically for your business, you have to preempt all of this. और इसी में से रिस्क निकलता है जो हम कहते हैं ना, there are very various resources associated with my risk. वो रिस्क यहीं से इमिनेट होंगे. अगर आपको पता है कि टैक्स रिजीम बहुत ही फ्लक्चुएटिंग रही है आपके बिजनेस के लिए, you will have to have a way whereby you can safeguard yourself against that. How best can you do it? How do businesses safeguard? Legal help रहती है उसके लिए. There are proper legal teams which are already aware of all this maneuvering from one system to another. जब Companies Act में Section 8 change हो गया था, you know, for most of us who have traditionally been into the social sector, there were a lot of administrative changes which were to be brought in. और वो changes लाने में पसीने निकल गए थे लोगों को. Because government is nudging these days to be more transparent, to be more forthcoming. They are saying that अगर corporate से पैसा लेना है तो पहले मेरी website पे register करो, दर्पण. You know, if you are not registered, मैं CSR पैसा corporate को मानूंगा ही नहीं कि उन्होंने खर्च किया. इस तरीके की nudging अगर government कर रही है, particularly from the legal point of view, we all know that we have to be in the systems framework. Just to avoid any kind of risk emanating on my business because of political interventions. Is this part clear to all of us? We move quickly to the next bit of it. I'm just, sir, session will be stretched by 10 minutes. I hope that is okay with you.
Yeah, yeah, certainly. I think the students also, just 10 minutes more, we'll go ahead. Thank you.
So I come back to this part. Okay. So a little bit of deep dive into it, that now we have understood that there are external factors. And remember, I said that there is a micro level of the market that you need to do. This is very important for all of you. ये complicated आपको नहीं बनाना है, but you need to be thorough with this. When I say thorough, which means you should know कितना बड़ा मेरा market है, how big the market is for me, for my product, for my business. एंड ये आपने अगर शार्क टैंक का एक भी एपिसोड देखा होगा तो ये आपको क्लियर हो जाएगा. वो बार बार पूछते हैं कितना बड़ा मार्केट है, हाउ बिग द मार्केट इज, हाउ ऑफन आर पीपल बाइंग फॉर इट, कैन वी एक्सपेक्ट पीपल टू रियली बाय एवरी सिंगल डे योर प्रोडक्ट, then only I will assume that it is a good product. So there are three key components. One is called TAM, the second is called SAM, and the third is called SOM. आप टैम सैम सॉम फिलहाल के लिए सिर्फ टैम सैम सॉम ही पढ़ लीजिए. जो उसका एक्रोनिम का एक्सपेंशन है, आई विल बी शेयरिंग माय स्लाइड सो इट विल रीच टू यू एनी हाउ. बट टैम स्टैंड्स फॉर द एंटायर मार्केट दैट आई कैन कैप्चर, बिग टोटल, let us put it total market that is available to me. SAM stands for in next 5 to 7 years, how much can I really cater to? Where all can I be physically present? Who all can I cater to? And SOM is what can I do with an immediate effect? मतलब आज मैं अगर business launch करता हूँ तो between now to 2 years, who all can I reach out to? Let's try and understand it with an example. मैं incubator के example पे बाद में आती हूँ. But let's say मेरा example है meat from plants. आजकल plant based meat बहुत popular category चल रहा है. Lot of social enterprises, lot of film industry people are also endorsing this. So if I really had to build that product, what my TAM would be? TAM would be that people, all vegans in the world. Right now, if I am launching a product which has license only in India, I will work only for India. So for our simplification, we are only looking at India. So we should have an estimation of total number of vegans in India. इस पे बहुत सारी रिपोर्ट्स है, आप कहीं भी गूगल करेंगे तो कुछ ना कुछ आपको डेटा मिल जाएगा. फिर हम कहते हैं बहुत सारे लोग हैं जो ऑन द वर्ज ऑफ फ्रॉम बीइंग अ नॉन वेजिटेरियन टू वेजिटेरियन है. आपके विराट कोहली उसका क्लासिक एग्जांपल है. हाउ फ्रॉम बीइंग अ कोर नॉन वेजिटेरियन टू वेजिटेरियन. I was for 17 years between the space of non-vegetarian to vegetarian. Then you also have doctors or medical conditions being pushed for vegan. So बहुत सारे लोगों को वो डेयरी एलर्जी और डॉक्टर ने डायबिटिक्स है और डाइजेशन इश्यूज हो रहे हैं, तो उनको भी वीगन बनने के लिए बोला है. Not by saying word vegan, but saying that you have to eliminate these from your diets. So these are our customers. Also, there are a lot of people who have gluten intolerance. A lot of your film stars fall into that category. So definitely it's a huge market. If I were to put a number of people against it, I will get good amount of people there. The SAM could be, let's say I hail from North India. So for me, the SAM is, मैं सबसे पहले तो अपने कैपिटल रीजन में ही एक्सपैंड करना चाहूंगा, तो दिल्ली, नोएडा, ये बॉर्डर में. If I was in Bombay, for that matter, I would try to do all suburbans of Bombay in the first go, and the second lot would be the catchment areas. तो इधर की तरफ आएंगे तो पुणे की तरफ हम जाना चाहेंगे, उधर स्ट्रेच करेंगे तो we will stretch beyond Atgaon and Thane and Karjat and all those places. So different geographical locations and the nearest catchment area is what we say. So number of vegans in a particular geographical concentration. Last but not the least is the people who are in my immediate neighborhood. So if I'm based out of Mumbai Vidya Vihar, which is where my base location is, at least my people on the central line I will be able to cater to first. Uske baad I will cater to Harbour line. Uske baad I will cater to Western line. Bombay ki language mein this is the way it works. In other locations, it may be a different neighborhood, ward-wise लोग करते हैं. You know, जहाँ उनकी manufacturing है, जहाँ उनका retail store है, उसके आजू-बाजू करते हैं. Today you have option of selling it online to pan India also. But just एक calculation का एक flow आप समझिए. मुझे पहले total निकालना है कि मैं अगर सब कुछ 100% मेरा चल रहा है, मेरा सब कुछ अच्छा है, पेस्टल भी अच्छा है, मेरी कंज्यूमर एनालिसिस अच्छी है, दिस इज वेयर आई विल लैंड अप. अगर मेरा सब कुछ अच्छा चल रहा है तो मैं एटलीस्ट यहाँ तक तो मैं डेफिनेटली सर्व कर सकता हूँ, विच इज वेयर सैम इज. एंड सॉम इज, मुझे अगर स्टार्ट भी करना है तो मैं किन से स्टार्ट करूंगा, वो है सॉम आपका. These are the only 3 simple categorization that you need to understand. Now I will come to the incubator example. I have put my riddle as an incubator, but आप लोग साइन में गए थे, right? साइन IIT बॉम्बे में गए थे. उनका जो सबसे पहला जो कैचमेंट है जिसके साथ वो स्टार्ट कर सकते हैं अपना इंक्यूबेशन सेंटर, उनका भी इंक्यूबेशन सेंटर एक प्राइवेट एंटरप्राइज है. उसमें भी वो लोग फीस चार्ज करते हैं, राइट? आपको उन्होंने बताया होगा कि कैसे क्या चार्जेस रहते हैं बिजनेसेस के. बट अगर मुझे इंक्यूबेशन सेंटर स्टार्ट करना है इन एन एजुकेशन इंस्टीट्यूट, मेरे लिए सबसे आसान है किसके साथ स्टार्ट करना. अगर मुझे एक इंक्यूबेशन सेंटर एकेडमिक इंस्टीट्यूशन में सेटअप करना है तो फादर एग्नल्स में भी ऐसा ही इंक्यूबेशन सेंटर है. आपके सरदार पटेल इंजीनियरिंग कॉलेज, सब सारे इंजीनियरिंग कॉलेजेस में गवर्नमेंट की वजह से ये मैंडेटरी है आज की डेट में. तो उनके लिए सबसे इजी स्टार्ट करना होगा, विच इज द कोर ऑफ द सर्कल. जस्ट फोकस ऑन द पॉइंटर. द कोर ऑफ द सर्कल वुड बी दैट वो अपने समय मतलब साइन IIT में आप गए थे तो साइन IIT के फैकल्टी, उनके स्टूडेंट्स और उनके अलुमनाई के साथ दे कैन स्टार्ट. ग्रेजुअली दे कैन ओपन अप टू ऑल अदर काइंड्स ऑफ स्टार्टअप्स. उसके बाद दे कैन से ओके पैन इंडिया कोई भी आ सकता है. सी साइन इज अ मेंटर incubator to many other engineering colleges which are affiliated with government. So उनके स्टूडेंट्स को भी वो अपने इंक्यूबेशन में ले सकता है. लास्ट बट नॉट द लीस्ट, दुनिया के सारे स्टार्टअप जाके साइन IIT बॉम्बे में ही खुद को रजिस्टर कर लें. दैट्स देयर ड्रीम कम ट्रू. साइन IIT बॉम्बे एक छोटे से 3 कमरे की दुकान से आज देख लीजिए कितनी बड़ी बिल्डिंग है उनकी अपनी खुद की, कितने सारे डोनेशंस उनको मिल रहे हैं. इट इज ऑल बिकॉज ऑफ द एक्सपेंशन फेज. उनकी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन में बहुत क्लियरली है कि मुझे टैन सैम सॉम कैसे करना है. अगर मैं मिरेकल कुरियर का ही टैन सैम सॉम निकालने को कहूँ तो व्हाट विल बी द लॉजिक दैट यू विल अप्लाई. आई जस्ट वांट टू नो द लॉजिक. या वेस्ट वॉरियर, एनीवेयर, टैन सैम सॉम अगर आपको उसका कैलकुलेट करना है तो आप कैसे करेंगे. कोई भी दोनों यूज्ड केसेस में से आप सोच सकते हैं. टेक अ मोमेंट because it's very important. अगर मुझे कुरियर सर्विस स्टार्ट करनी है तो मेरा क्या स्टार्टिंग पॉइंट होगा, मैं कहाँ से शुरू कर सकता हूँ? अगर मुझे वेस्ट कंपनी खोलनी है जो डोर टू डोर कलेक्शन करे तो मेरा क्या टारगेट होना चाहिए, कहाँ से शुरू करूँ? हाउ डू आई जस्टिफाई माई सेल्फ? एनीबडी? See, there are no right or wrong answers in this.
Ma'am, talking about the waste warriors, so ma'am, we can start from looking from the time perspective. We can start generally from when people put garbage outside their home instead of throwing in like daily collection vehicles, and people are habitual, usually not putting inside garbage inside their home, but putting them outside. So we can start from there.
Okay. So you say that any neighborhood where people are slightly this thing
Habitual.
that they are going to put out, fair enough. तो आपको उसके पास, आपके लिए उसके पास कंज्यूमर स्टडी होना चाहिए, आपके पास एक वार्ड वाइज इंफॉर्मेशन होना चाहिए कि हाँ हाँ मुझे ऐसे करना है. I will come back to you. Just remind me to come back to that point. Anybody else?
The immediate locality, we'll start from there because usually we know the habits of our neighbors and our society, what we have been doing. So we'll start from then, and then we'll move forward maybe to my area, to my
Fantastic.
suburb, and then around.
Fantastic. Fantastic. Anyone wants to try with the courier company? Because this is more logically clear to you already. So in courier companies, let me just give you a bit of insight there. So in courier companies, you cannot be geography wise, ना कि नहीं मुझे तो सिर्फ मैं बोरीवली में ही कुरियर डिलीवर करूंगा, मैं उसके बियॉन्ड नहीं करूंगा. हमने एक सिटी वाइज किया, हमने कहा ओके बॉम्बे के सारे पिन कोड्स पे, सी कुरियर बिजनेस वर्क्स ऑन पिन कोड्स, इट डजंट इवन वर्क ऑन स्ट्रीट वाइज नेबरहुड नथिंग. पिन कोड्स में कितने डिलीवर करूंगा, मैंने बोला ठीक है मैं बॉम्बे के सारे पिन कोड्स पे डिलीवर करूंगा, विच इज वेयर मिरेकल कुरियर इज राइट नाउ. And it says that more than domestic courier within the city, it is the corporate couriers which are moving from one. B2B business बहुत अच्छा है उसमें, B2C नहीं है, मतलब बिजनेस टू कंज्यूमर नहीं है, बिजनेस टू बिजनेस है. मतलब रिलायंस को टाटा में बहुत चिट्ठियां भेजनी है, टाटा को रिलायंस में बहुत चिट्ठियां भेजनी होती है. उसके लिए मैं अगर कुरियर पैकेज इंट्रोड्यूस करूं तो मुझे लगता है मेरे लिए फायदेमंद होगा. उन्होंने क्या किया, उन्होंने जाके सारे कॉर्पोरेट हाउसेस में एक के बाद एक विजिट किया और सबको बोला कि भाई हमारा ये है, क्योंकि देखिए कॉर्पोरेट ऑफिसेस के डेस्टिनेशंस भी बहुत ज्यादा डेफिनेट होते हैं, पॉइंट ए टू पॉइंट बी. एक कॉन्सेंट्रेशन होता है, अगर आपने नोटिस किया हो उनकी गाड़ी में सारे पार्सल्स भरे हुए. दैट वाज अ वेरी स्ट्रेटेजिक मूव. क्यों? क्योंकि कफ परेड में उसका ऑफिस है, उसने कहा मैं सारे कॉर्पोरेट्स के साथ पार्टनरशिप करता हूँ, मुझे रिटेलर्स मतलब मुझे और आपको तो वो टारगेट ही नहीं कर रहे, इसलिए कभी वो हमें एडवर्ट आया भी नहीं. But they went to corporate, tried to map them how many couriers do they send out in a day and what is the rate that they are doing right now. That's a consumer survey they did. They understood that there is a lot of B2B movement. Let me get started because office locations में navigate करना आसान, neighborhoods में navigate करना मुश्किल था. So they decided with the first 10 pin codes which were in all the commercial locations, Kaf Parade, Worli and Andheri they started with. वहां से ग्रेजुअल स्टार्ट करते करते उनको समझ में आ गया कि देयर इज लॉट ऑफ कोरियर मूवमेंट अराउंड दीज मेजर पिन कोड्स. देन दे ओपन टू ऑल ओवर बॉम्बे बिकॉज बाय देन योर बेलापुर डिस्ट्रिक्ट आल्सो बिकेम वेरी एक्टिव. सो न्यू बॉम्बे बहुत ज्यादा बिटवीन इंटर गवर्नमेंट ट्रांजैक्शंस होने लगे. तो इसके लिए so if you see for a courier kind of a service, the unit need not be the way geography wise that we went. It can be the business wise, how to whom I want to reach out to. I can go business wise in this case. I'll give you one more last example before we just come to the last part of it. But just to give you a critical example solution, when I started my health micro insurance business, for us the data was all those who are below poverty line. यही मेरा market है, तो मेरा TAM वही था straight away. All the people in this country who are below poverty line, who don't have a health insurance, I am targeting that. And health insurance का data बहुत easily available है. You go on to the Insurance Institute of India, they have plenty of studies. I got the data. Only countries 7% people have the formal health insurance. उसमें भी 50% to 60% is because companies में मिलता है पैकेज, इसके लिए है, अदरवाइज इंडिविजुअल रिटेल में है ही नहीं. सो मेरा टैम वो हो गया कि भाई जितने लोग बिलो पॉवर्टी लाइन, मैंने बोला मैं बॉम्बे में लोकेटेड हूँ, मेरा को फाउंडर पुणे में लोकेटेड है, उसके पास ज्यादा टाइम है, हम पुणे से स्टार्ट करेंगे, हमारे पास बॉम्बे में टाइम नहीं है, और बॉम्बे में बहुत कॉम्प्लिकेटेड है, पॉलिटिकल बहुत है। हमने पुणे से स्टार्ट किया, 7 साल तक हम सिर्फ पुणे में कॉन्सेंट्रेट किए, 10 लाख वुमेन का एक कोऑपरेटिव बना है। उसके बाद वी मूव टू बॉम्बे सिटी, एंड ट्रस्ट में 7 साल में जितना हमने पुणे में प्रोग्रेस किया था उसका 0.05% हम बॉम्बे में कर पाए विद ऑल द इंटरवेंशंस. So all I'm trying to say is that मेरा TAM, SAM and SOM was based on geography in my case. मैं कहाँ से शुरू करूंगी? अंडरस्टैंडिंग विजुअली है मेरे पास की टोटल, जैसे मैंने बोला टोटल नंबर ऑफ वेगन्स इन द कंट्री, वैसे ही था टोटल नंबर ऑफ पीपल हु डोंट हैव हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस, डू नॉट हैव अफोर्डेबिलिटी टू पे फॉर इट. आई विल लॉन्च माय प्रोडक्ट देयर. या फाउंडर्स के बारे में हमने ऑलरेडी काफी सारी बात कर रखी है, सो आई विल नॉट ड्वेल much time on it, but I want to share just last 2 examples before we close for the day, so that all of us are on the same page. Just confirm to me if my screen is visible to all of you.
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
So these are 2 my favorite social enterprises that I never miss out to talk on this. And like I said in the very beginning itself, that it's not about how much you are charging, it's about the value that you are providing to the end user. And a classic example is the Sulabh toilet movement. Now, Sulabh toilet, both rich, poor, God knows who all. So they have a model of providing toilets in slums also, which is where they ask money from government and then user fee charge karte hain. You find them in all market spaces. सब जगह है, वो 2 रुपए 4 रुपए लेकर के आपको करने देते हैं. Dr. Bindeshwari Pathak showed the world that a redundant thing like toilet and urine can also have a business idea. And today, he is not dependent on a single government funding. All the urinals are run free of cost, which means they are self-sufficient, so purely on user fee basis. हर बार आपको टॉयलेट जाने के पहले बस एक 2 रुपए 5 रुपए depending upon what your service you are going to use, you can access this service. Highly accessible. All government major offices, all government का तो rural में toilets भी इनका. So more than 3 lakh toilet seats across India, there are many. और हर सीट से आप सोचो अगर सिर्फ 1 रुपए भी दिन का एक बार लेते होंगे तो 3 लाख रुपए दिन का वो सिर्फ एक टॉयलेट सीट से. Just imagine toilet seats are getting multiplied with number of usage, with number of people, with number of location. कोई भी सर्विस इन्होंने कभी भी फ्री नहीं दी, हमेशा 1 रुपए चार्ज किया है. That was his bottom line. He said मैं फ्री दूंगा, उसको टॉयलेट गंद मचा के ही आएंगे. I have to ensure. तो उसने अपने डिटर्जेंट, अपने लिक्विड और अपने वर्कर की सैलरी का, जो वर्कर वहां बैठा रहता है 24/7. And in his model, the unique thing which he did was he said मैं इसका घर यही ऊपर बनाऊंगा ताकि ये टॉयलेट ऑटोमेटिक साफ रखे. The sweeper who's supposed to be stationed there. He said अगर ये इसमें से बदबू आएगी तो he will not be able to or she will not be able to stay. Therefore, I will not. उनको सपोर्ट ये मेजर जरूर मिला है कि गवर्नमेंट ने उनको लैंड फ्री ऑफ कॉस्ट दिए 99 इयर्स के लीज पे. बाकी पूरा इंफ्रास्ट्रक्चर कंस्ट्रक्शन सब वो खुद अपने पैसों से करते हैं और रन करते हैं सक्सेसफुली. दूसरा ऑर्गेनाइजेशन which is highly inspiring for all of us is the Jaipur Foot. It's an artificial arms and limb center, and I feel that they have shown to the world prosthetics ka cost in US alone is about $12,000 on average. Imagine usko India में लाना और $50 से भी कम में बनाना. That fabrication expertise that he brought to the country, immense. I mean, I have seen more than 1,000 people in my own life who have over the period been benefited by these artificial arms and limbs, which are provided exclusively. The design patents, everything is resting with Jaipur Foot. Anywhere from the world, you can put out a request to Jaipur Foot and say, boss, I need artificial arms. अगेन इसमें आप देखिए फाउंडर्स की मेडिकल नॉलेज, फाउंडर्स का लिविंग एक्सपीरियंस इसके लिए बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट था, क्योंकि वो डिजाइन, वो लाइट वेट का मटेरियल बनाना, वो टेक्नोलॉजिकल सॉल्यूशंस हैं जो ग्रेजुअली ओवर अ पीरियड, आज की डेट में तो आपको रोबोटिक्स आर्म्स भी मिल रहे हैं, बट ऑल ऑफ दिस इज नाउ अ वेरी ग्रेजुअल ट्रांजिशन. अभी भी लोग, लाइक यू सेड, मार्जिनलाइज लोगों के बारे में सोचना, इट्स नॉट इजी. It's not easy. But these people, and nothing goes for free. Free is only when government is distributing. आप देखेंगे कभी भी जयपुर फुट का अगर प्रोस्थेटिक्स गवर्नमेंट डिस्ट्रीब्यूट कर रही है अपने आर्टिफिशियल आर्म्स एंड लिम्ब सेंटर्स में, वही फ्री है, वरना एवरीवेयर द कॉस्ट इज borne by the end user. It's so cheap that it really makes a difference to the lives of the poor. So in conclusion, I would just like to say that a superior opportunity has the qualities of being attractive, durable, and timely, and is anchored in a product or service which creates or adds value for its users. It is really solving a very painful and serious problem. It is not something which it's not good to have. It is a must-have solution which will bring that difference. And to identify this, the framework was already given to you. That was all from my side. I know I've stretched it by 10 minutes. My apologies for that. Any query? I hope I made it clear for all of you to dwell between your ideas.
Perfect. I think, ma'am, it's not 10 minutes. You're perfectly on time.
Is it?
No, I mean, what I mean to say that it's a lovely summary to the entire class.
So if anyone has any question, I'm willing to respond to that.
Students, you have any questions? Otherwise, I'll ask a question to ma'am. Yes. Your voice is breaking. Your voice is breaking.
I think you can go ahead with your question and we have.
Yeah. Anybody has a question? Actually, I was also intensely listening to ma'am. I mean, I'm always learning. I see myself always as a learner. Ma'am, there's some, like, since you gave a very good example of miracle couriers, another question that came into my mind, which is very similar to a courier, is the famous Indian Postal Service. I mean, it is one of the classical examples that has failed in the country. I mean, I do not know whether you can call it failed or whatever, but unfortunately, it is not raking in the profits. So,
absolutely.
Yeah. So with a coverage spanning every corner, nook and corner of the country, it should have been one of the best courier services in the country. I mean, so that any studies on this failure model, and I mean, they are turning it around now, but I'm not very sure. Yeah.
Sir, you are absolutely right. In fact, in one of the classes, we had a student really presenting this study when we gave, because pestle analysis में competitors analysis भी another एक step हम add करते हैं. तो उसमें उसने बोला कि मेरा courier का next courier company is not my competitor because they will always have a challenge. But my competitor is postal simply because of its widest presence, even in rural India. And the network is already there, which means there is human resource, there is a physical transaction, there is a physical understanding. And he did a beautiful analysis and he presented to the class that, in my postal service network, I am only right now, Postal Service of India is relying only on all the mandatory posts that we have to send via, government, competitive exam, any application that we have to send. The retail consumers beyond Rakhi, probably no one is using it anymore because of the lack of trust that it will reach on time. Postal, maybe they are using only the speed post part of it. Nothing, no parcel, nothing. No other business is money making for them. So he said that for me to build that, maybe I should shake hands with Indian Postal and say, Mera rural vertical tum sambhal lo, so that I can handle it well. So you are bang on there that, it's kind of failing. It's kind of losing its presence. The same happened with airlines. We saw the plight of our domestic carriers vis-a-vis the private carriers. Everywhere, service quality will also make a difference. So even if there is a similar pricing, similar service, if it is not offered to the customer experience, it will not live. We can talk about the same for educational institutions. all offering similar kinds of MBA program. But the student experience is what is making a lot of difference today. Some kind of value addition. So when we look up to Nirmala Niketan, we really feel that the student would have been nudged to the grassroots. So that's a sustainable advantage that you have built over a period of time for Nirmala Niketan. We know that the students will be extremely grounded. We know they will not be high-headed. That's the brand you have built over a period of time.
Thank you.
Yeah. All
Yes.
right. So
Yes.
I assume either I was very clear.
Students, any other question? Or we ask Ramita wanted to say something?
I just wanted to ask if we have more questions, how can we reach you? Because right now we are sort of.
Okay, sure. So I'm just going to post my email address. Oh, sorry. I should have put it in the slide itself, but I'm just putting it in the chat. Maybe it should be visible to all of you. Meeting group chat. I've posted my mobile number as well as my email ID that you can reach me. Mobile number is the WhatsApp number, and I would prefer a WhatsApp message over a direct call during the day because Monday to Friday it's very busy. After that, I mean, just a call. I know I can't say that in front of Dr. Cletus because he will say you're never reachable.
No. Ma'am has been very responsive. I must say she has been very adaptable and also willing to always reach out and
That's
be
very
available.
kind of you, sir.
Thank you.
That's very kind of you, sir.
Yeah, no. Seriously, really nice. Yes, so I won't keep you waiting, ma'am, because you have another engagement. Ma'am is actually got a appointment with admissions and all. So
yeah, we have to.
So I won't keep her waiting. So students, I mean, I think Akshat would be giving a vote of thanks. Hello.
Yes, Akshat.
Yeah, I would like to thank you on the behalf of the whole add-on course class, and thank you, Vandana ma'am, for sharing so much with us on the opportunity analysis, how to engage with opportunities and look out for them, basically, and how we can with the SDG goals and idea generation, and how you targeted the BPLs and giving yourself as an example, and the role of private sector also, and the various examples we were like, these are all new examples apart from the Amul and the VC, and we have also talked previously, and the importance of copyrights and attractiveness and those different models and frameworks to understand an opportunity and analyze the opportunity and the idea we have before even entering the market. So thank you so much for that, and thank you also Cletus for sharing us and providing us an opportunity to interact with ma'am and giving us a platform on the behalf of the class.
Thank you, Akshat, and thank you all students for coming. If you can just put on your camera, I can take one final pic of all the others. I can take one final pic of everyone present. I think maybe, yeah, Kanishka's coming on, and there is Bhakti. Yeah, that's Shravani is there. Bhakti, are you coming on? Yeah. So I think that's really nice. 1 minute, I'll just get the pic properly.
I just had a small question.
Yes.
In terms of the pestle model working, does it work the same? Like, is the process the same for niche markets as well? In terms of scale.
Yes, it applies to even we do the same process for an extremely for-profit business also. The same steps have to go through. Whether you are going to do for a very niche market, which is very small piece of people you are going to influence, let's say gems and jewelry market, export also you want to start, you still have to go through the similar process. to be able to understand. Your findings will be different at each level, which means social in gems and jewelry will be totally different because customers are only looking for unique designs maybe in the export segment. So that can be varying, but the indicators remain the same. The pest analysis steps remains the same.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So thank you all, and thank you once again, ma'am. It was a real pleasure listening to you, and also all of you students for being present even on a Sunday. Yeah, have a
Yes.
lovely day
That's
and
really nice
enjoy
of
the
them.
rest. Yeah, enjoy the rest of
Thank
the
you so
evening.
much.
Yeah. Have a
Thank
lovely
you so
day.
much, everyone.
Yeah. Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.